Hello everyone, my name is Michael SK and welcome back to Fate Stay Night Remastered. The previous episode was nuts, we covered quite a bit. I got a bad ending, which carried over from the episode prior, me making a not so wise choice, so I really gotta get into the mind of Shirou here to be able to formulate the correct choices, or to come up with the correct choices to make going forward, which means more bad endings are gonna come up. I'm sure you guys could guess that. So that happened, which I've got many questions about what we saw there in that bad ending, but you know, we'll hold off for now. And then Saber went into combat against Ryder, which we actually got to see. And I think Ryder is donezo, like she is gone, which means Shinji is powerless more so than ever. He went right back into pussy mode right after the end of the fight, and that was that. Saber is not doing all that great right now, but I think she's in better condition compared to what we saw of her in the bad ending.
和室に寝かせてきたけど、あの分じゃしばらく目を覚まさないでしょうね。
そうか。遠坂がいてくれて助かった。俺じゃセイバーの手当てなんてできないからな。
We know.
まあ、鎧を脱がせて楽にさせただけだから、お礼を言われるほどじゃないわ。セイバーの体も良くならないし、私は何もしてないもの。
But still, I'm glad Tosaka was here. The moment I arrived home carrying Saber, Tosaka understood what was going on. It's been an hour. She tried telling Saber that what she was going to do and then took her armor off.
それで、何があったの？シンジを探しに行って、帰ってきたと思ったらセイバーがあれでしょ？
This all sounds very familiar, doesn't it?
説明してくれないかしら？
I don't know how to explain. Saber's noble phantasm. I shouldn't disclose her true name. I can't decide on my own to reveal that.
ライダーを倒した。シンジはレイジを失ってリタイアしたよ。ただ、その時にセイバーがホーグを使って、その後に倒れたんだ。
セイバーのホーグね。
Oh yeah. I guess that's another thing, by the way. I think I know Saber's identity. I have a pretty good feeling as to what it is. The comments most definitely did not spoil that I was on the right track, but I believe, and I'm more certain than ever, that it is King Arthur. Now, do not get me wrong here, guys. I definitely had that as a random wild-ass guess as I was looking into the Knights of the Round Table like I wasn't supposed to many episodes ago, and then my friends got mad at me, understandably so. I was walking into dangerous territory. But with all of this, I was just taking random guesses. I used to think that Joan of Arc could have been a choice, but she's not a knight. I actually don't even know like what she is specifically. It's just for some reason I remember the name. That's probably not a good thing, but no, I was just thinking of random names and random people and random groups, and just Googling, which could have led me down a very spoilery type of direction, so there is all of that, but I do believe it is Arthur. Now, I was told that Merlin could also be a suspect, you know? Merlin, I guess, according to my friends, unless they were just leading me down the wrong path, which is possible, and I don't blame them. Merlin apparently also wielded Excalibur, maybe? There's a whole lot of names that I'm not too familiar on. I'm not familiar with any of this. I was really just taking random stabs in the dark.
まあ、追求するのは勘弁してあげるわ。今のあなたたちはそれどころじゃないものね。
Now, let me guess, we're right back to where we were in the bad ending, huh?
それどころじゃないってどういうことだ？
言葉通りの意味よ。あなただってうすうすは気づいているんでしょ？
Yep, there we go. We're right back
このま
to
ま
it.
じゃセイバーが消えるってことぐらい。
She says it so calmly. Tosaka just casually brings up the one thing I've been trying so hard to avoid.
消えるって、セイバーが消えるっていうのか。
Yeah, here's our overlap, huh?
当然でしょ。セイバーの魔力はほとんど空っぽなのよ。セイバーの宝具がどんなものだったかは知らないけど、 よっぽど魔力を使うものだったんでしょうね。
So I wonder if she actually did use her
自
noble
分の中の魔力を
phantasm
ほぼ消費してしまった。
in the bad ending.
今彼女が苦しんでいるのはね、消えようとしている自分を必死に留めているからよ。
魔力がないから消える？セイバーは傷を負ってもいないのに消えるっていうのか？
ええ、サーバントにとっては外的ダメージより魔力切れの方が深刻な問題よ。霊体であるサーバントに肉体を与えているのは魔力だもの。それがなくなれば消えるしかない。
Game over at that point.
もっともそんなことにならないようにマスターはサーバントに魔力を送るんだけど、あなたはそれができないでしょ。だからセイバーは自分の魔力だけで戦うしかない。切れたらそれまでよ。こんなこと一番初めに説明したでしょ。
That is definitely what Saber said.
けど今までは大丈夫だったじゃないか。セイバーだって眠っていれば持ち直すって。
No. Even I remember this part. Saber wasn't able to recover anything through sleeping. She was just minimizing the
それは
damage.
セイバーの魔力量が桁外れだったからよ。そうね、確かにセイバーの魔力はまだ残ってる。彼女ならまだ消えずに肉体を保つぐらいの魔力は回復できるとは思う。
Oh wait, is she actually able to recover some? I thought it was just like minimizing like the bleeding.
けど結局はそこ止まりよ。セイバーはずっと今の状態で戦うことになる。宝具を使うなんてもってのほか。次に宝具を使えばセイバーは間違いなく消え去るでしょうね。
次に
Command spells be damned at this point, huh? Well, I wouldn't want Saber fighting like this at all. I don't ever want to see Saber on her knees in that kind of pain again.
理解できた？結局セイバーを以前の状態に戻す方法は2つだけよ。
Yep, we gotta
マスタ
kill.
ーがサーバントに魔力を
Or that.
提供するか、サーバントが自分で魔力を補充するか。
A servant collecting it themselves. That would mean killing innocent people like Ryder.
まさかセイバーはそんなことはしない。
I know a lot of this is just like we've already read some of
だ。
this, but it's okay, you know. We'll go
で
through
し
it
ょう
again.
ね。一
We
般
have
人
more
を犠牲にする
context
ぐらい
this
なら
time.
セイバーは潔く消えるでしょう。なら方法は一つだけよ。セイバーを消したくないのならあなたが魔力を提供するしかないわ。
それはできるならとっくにそうしてるさ。けど俺は魔力を提供する方法なんて知らない。あいにく遠坂みたいに何でもできるってわけじゃないんだ。
まあね、共有の魔術を教えてあげても間に合わない。シローは魔術師に向いてないから覚えるのに1年ぐらいかかるだろうし、覚えたところで使えないわ。まあ召喚時にセイバーとパスは通っているはずだからまだ他に方法があるかもしれないけど。
Yeah, by all means, please share what you may know.
いい？セイバーを助けたいのなら彼女自身に人を吸わせて
Okay,
魂を
not
食べ
that
させ
though.
るしか
Not
ない。
that one. Not that direction.
それはあなたにも分かってると思うけど。
That's the most realistic method. But it's...
もちろんセイバーは嫌がるでしょう。けど放っておけば遅かれ早かれセイバーは消えてあなたは他のマスターから狙われることになる。
Saber's going to disappear? I can't even consider that. I still remember the warmth of her body when I was carrying her.
なら答えは一つよ。霊樹を使いなさい、エミヤ君。それで最悪の事態は避けられる。
I already said command spells be damned. What she's trying to say is, yeah, use the command spell to do something that she would hate to do. But it's the one thing that'll keep her alive. I need to order Saber to kill innocent people. I can't say anything. I resent what Tosaka is saying, but there's a part of me that has to admit it could be one of our options.
決断はあなたに任せるわ。セイバーは眠らせておけば落ち着くだろうけど、それでも限界は近いでしょうね。
Tosaka leaves the living room. I can't even lift my head. All I can do is listen to the sound of her footsteps receding down the hall. Well, we got the big choice to make here yet again. That is for absolute certain, but now we're officially going on to the next day. There it is, day 11. Yeah, see, last time whenever we were going into the bad end, the day count did not change. It still said day 10, even so we went to another day. I remember that we started this on January 31st, not February 1st. So we're like, the day count and the actual date for February is off by 1. Altria. That's the name she was given when she celebrated her coming of age. It was wartime. It began with the collapse of an empire. An empire that had been meant to be eternal was slowly waiting to die amid invasions from all sides. In preparation for the many wars, the empire deprived an island nation of its military. That is how it began. Having lost the empire's protection, her nation had no choice but to become independent, and over time it broke up into smaller nations. The invasions came again and again. Internal conflicts between clans spiraled out of control. Then came a long period of war, which would later come to be known as the Dark Ages. It is during this difficult time that she was born heir to the throne. A long, tumultuous, I completely butchered that one, period of war. The king believed in a mage's prophecy and so eagerly awaited the birth of his worthy successor. But the child born to him was not the child he desired. His child wasn't male. Fated king or not, the child could not assume the throne unless they were a boy. So the girl was entrusted to the king's retainer and was raised as a knight. The king was saddened, but the mage delighted. One's sex has nothing to do with one's worthiness to become king. More than that, the mage was convinced that the girl's absence from the castle until the day of the prophecy was proof that she was the true king. So she grew up under the care of a simple and wise old knight as his adopted child and successor. The old knight did not believe in the mage's prophecy. He simply raised her to be a knight and hoped for her to continue growing because he felt something from her that reminded him very much of his own lord. But even without the knight's encouragement or intervention, the girl trained every day to become stronger than anyone else. And an ailing country headed toward its own demise can only be saved by a king. Or if an ailing country, I might have said in an ailing country. Though, anyways, the girl had sworn to wield her sword for that reason, and that reason alone, without anyone ever needing to tell her to do so. And then the prophesied day arrived. Knights and lords from around the nation gathered in hopes of being chosen to be king. If this was to be the contest to determine the best possible king, all assumed the selection would be made in a mounted joust. Instead, all that waited at the site of selection was a naked blade thrust into a stone. On the hilt of that sword, a glittering golden inscription read, "Whosoever pulleth this sword from this stone is the rightful king of England." Many knights took their turn trying to draw the sword from the stone. Do you guys think that you could do it, you know? Just pull that shit out? Like, no cheating, like actual, like, do you think your worthiness would let you pull that sword out? But none were able to draw the sword from the stone, so the knights decided to compete in a joust as they had originally expected on arriving. The girl was not yet a knight, and so could not participate in the joust. She approached the stone of selection, which sat largely abandoned, its appeal having long since faded, and reached for the sword's hilt. She did not hesitate.
いやいや、それを手に取る前に、きちんと考えた方がいい。
She turned around, and before her stood the most feared mage in the nation. He gave his warning. Once she takes hold of that sword, she will cease to be human. She responded only with a nod. To be king is to no longer be human. She has been resolved to this from the moment she was born. To be king is to kill more than anyone in protection of everyone. The young girl thought of this every night and lay in bed, shivering, at the implications until morning. Not a day went by that she was not afraid. But in that moment, she pledged that her days of fear were at an end. She drew the sword effortlessly from the stone, and bright light engulfed the whole of the site of selection. And in that instant, she ceased to be human. A king's sex does not matter, so long as they carry out the function of a king. None would care about a king's appearance, or even bother to pay attention to such a thing. And even if someone noticed the king was a woman, it would not matter, so long as she was a good king. The sword's magical energy must have halted her growth. While many knights found it eerie and feared her, most saw their lord's immortality as a divine gift. And so, the legendary, celebrated Age of the King began. The new king in battle was seen as something of a god of war. The king always led from the front. No enemies could stand in her way. Altria, the god of battle. Hailed as a dragon incarnate, she knew no defeat. Wait, was I wrong here? In 10 years, she fought 12 battles and never once lost. In those days, her chief duty as king was on the battlefield. Not once did she turn back. Not once was she disgraced. She was raised to kingship and fulfilled her obligations without hesitation. Was I wrong about the name and everything here? Like, did I have the wrong individual? Because I kind of threw sex out the door, you know? I just thought, oh, okay, whatever, but maybe that's why I had a vision of her. Her soul must still be on the battlefield. It's not yet dawn. She stands under the indigo sky and lets the wind whip at her as she stares off into the distance. The sky is high and clouds slide by overhead. Out in the clear air, sword in hand, she gazes at the great army she's about to confront. That image of her won't leave me. It's burned into my mind now. She and her sword are one. The sword from the stone, which chose the king. The brilliance of the sword that determined her fate is also her brilliance. But I tilt my head and wonder at this dream. That sword isn't the one she holds. It's similar, but different. The sword she holds now isn't the one that she used last night. But if that's the case, what happened to that incredible sword? Okay, so we got a little bit of a switch up here then. We have new servant data nonetheless, and weapon data. I think we should, and more servant data. Okay, that's it. Okay, yeah, let's look at the servant data. We'll start with Saber. Altria, I was fucking wrong. Goddamn, what the fuck? I was off. I was just way off there. Okay. Yeah, I kind of just threw sex out the door. I thought, you know, anybody could be anyone. You know, we have Berserker, you know? He's an absolute fucking monster. But that's not how I would have ever envisioned, you know, Heracles. But that's just me. And here I am, failing again. But okay, there we go. Oh wait. King Arthur, the legendary hero of England, is immortalized as the once and future king. He is a hero who is widely known as an icon of chivalry. However, he is not just a legend, but also someone who is said to have actually existed. In his earliest chronicles, the real King Arthur is called, well, I don't know how to properly pronounce that one. I don't know if you're supposed to say it with the X, or if it's more of like a do. So I'm just gonna skip over that one. The King of War, a great general who led the 12 kings of northern England, the what now? The Gododin, against other tribes like the Picts and Scots. There are several theories about the identity of this great general, and some say the king may correspond to two different historical figures. One is Arthur, the Briton. The other is Artorius, the Roman. The accomplishments of both have synthesized into the legend of King Arthur, still famous to this day. Arthur became king after drawing a sword upon whose blade Merlin the mage had inscribed the word. Okay, so Merlin himself is the one that set it up. But the one who pulls the sword from the stone is the King of England. From there, countless stories unfolded about King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table. He was born of a tryst between Uther Pendragon, King of the Britons, and blue-eyed Igraine, wife to the Duke of Cornwall. This is all new to me. Paying the price for pursuing his love, King Uther enlisted the help of Merlin, entrusting the mage with the child born between himself and Igraine. Vowing to rescue Arthur, who carried a great destiny, from the royal crisis and guide him onto the correct path, Merlin placed him in the care of Sir Ector, Uther's loyal knight. Ector adopted Arthur as his own son, raising him until the day he drew the sword of appointment. The trials and travails, I have no idea what I'm reading. I have to be completely honest with you guys. I get so thrown off here and there. But they awaited Arthur after pulling out the sword and becoming king would later fill the tapestries of history, becoming a grand narrative that is representative of chivalry in the Middle Ages. King Arthur's accomplishments while reigning over Camelot, the White City, and saving England alongside his many great knights cemented him as a hero. His famous sword Excalibur is not the sword of appointment. It is the sacred sword that Arthur received from the Lady of the Lake under Merlin's guidance after the sword of appointment was lost. The Lady of the Lake, Vivian, became Arthur's fairy guardian after bestowing him with Excalibur. Morgan Le Fay, Arthur's lifelong nemesis, exists as his guardian fairy Vivian's averse. However, as a fairy of the lake herself, she too was sworn to protect the king. King Arthur commanded his Knights of the Round Table to seek out the Holy Grail. So this search for the Holy Grail is central to Arthurian legend, but ultimately only 3 knights were dispatched, and Arthur himself did not journey with them. The peerless knight Lancelot could not reach the Grail due to the stain of infidelity on his heart. His son Galahad was able to obtain the Grail but chose to relinquish it. In the end, the legend closes with King Arthur's death. Arthur's life is punctuated by clashes with Morgan, his half-sister from a different father, as she attempted to kill him many times, and his legend is ended by his bitter conflict with Mordred, the knight who was born from Morgan's orchestrations. King Arthur's fall begins when his most trusted knight Lancelot disappears after dishonoring himself by adultering with the king's wife. Oh my god, there is so much shit going on here, but I have no idea how to pronounce her name. So I'm just gonna, skip over that. Losing his trusted companion, his holy scabbard, and even control of his kingdom over the course of his final journey, King Arthur sees his final battle at Camlan. On the verge of his death, he entrusts Excalibur to Sir Bedivere, who returns it to the Lady of the Lake. King Arthur's body is transported by the Ladies of the Lake to Avalon, the land where heroes sleep. It was then foretold that in England's hour of greatest need, Arthur would awaken from his slumber and save his country again. Arthur carries the red dragon, the symbol of the Britons, on his back, and he himself also bears the dragon attribute because he carries the attribute of a dragon, a creature that is the embodiment of mystics and predominance. He has a powerful magical energy characteristic. However, he is not well matched against servants who have a background in dragon slaying. Jeez, oh my gosh. All right, that was a lot. My body just can't keep up. So, I guess this is King Arthur, but also not, right? Maybe. I don't know how to formulate this, honestly. Do we have anything else going on here? I think we've read all of this. I mean, charisma, goddamn. Noble Phantasm we read about in the last one with this with Excalibur. This one we had already read, The Invisible Heir, at least I'm pretty sure. Then we have Rider. right? Do we have Rider? Is that the... No, okay, we've already read all of Rider. What else came up? Obviously not Lancer, not Archer. We still don't know Caster. What other information came up for servant data? Oh, well. I mean, we have weapon data. There is that. The Golden Sword of Assured Victory. So, a sacred sword that represents King Arthur, England's King of Knights. Caliburn symbolizes the king whom the mage Merlin led to pull the sword from the Stone of Appointment. It is distinct from the sacred sword Excalibur bestowed by the Fairy of the Lake, and its characteristics as a noble phantasm differ somewhat. However, Saber seems to be profoundly attached to this sword. Since swords are a symbol of power, the swords of kings have always been relegated to an ornate ceremonial role. This marks the largest difference between Excalibur and Caliburn. In exchange for its regal beauty, it is nowhere near as effective of a weapon as Excalibur. According to legend, Caliburn broke when King Arthur fought in a battle that violated the principles of chivalry. Okay, so I guess I had things a little mixed up. Again, I don't really know the stories here with all of this, as I said earlier. But it looks like that sword is the sword pulled from stone. Excalibur comes a little bit later. So there we go. So now, I guess Saber is King Arthur, but also isn't. It's a different character. It's somebody different, but also the same. Unless I'm stupid and I'm missing something, or I'm just overlooking something. I don't know. When I wake from my dream, I find myself in my own room. It's bright outside. I must have come back to my room last night, unable to make a decision, and then fallen asleep while I was watching over Saber. It was indeed a dream of some sort. It was a strange dream. What I saw, I had no way of knowing any of that, and that wasn't the Saber I know. Is it even possible for me to dream of such a thing? I racked my brain. Saber's identity had been unclear. And honestly, I still can't get my head around who she really is. Yeah, same. Saber is Saber. I can't change the way I act around her, and I don't think Saber would want that in any case. She looked really cool with that sword last night, but she looked good with the sword in my dreams too. But two different swords. It would be fair to say that I was in awe. The sword last night and the sword from my dreams seem to have left one hell of an impression on me. I guess I've got a thing for swords. I thought Lancer's spear was beautiful when I saw it too, but my passion for swords is on a whole other level. It would appear I have a thing for swords. I draw in a deep breath and reach up, finding my forehead dripping with sweat. I wipe the sweat from my forehead. It's winter, but my body feels flushed. I don't know why, but it feels like my blood is getting hotter, and it's unsettling. My whole body's been hot for some reason. My left hand, the one with my command spells, feels like it's holding a hand warmer. I take a deep breath, trying to calm myself. She still hasn't woken up, but it looks like she's stabilizing. Her breathing is even, and that pain look that she had last night has smoothed over. Saber is sleeping peacefully. It's a morning like any other. Maybe if I let her sleep, Saber will recover. That way I won't have to make her kill anyone. Then she could stay with me, just like she has been. I slam my fist into the wall. My own weakness nauseates me. I mean, yeah, that is true. I stand up without another sound. I don't know when Saber's going to wake up. but I have to make a decision before she does. Tosaka's not up yet. My house is completely dead, and the corridor feels deserted. No, it only feels that way because I'm so down. I can't decide what to do, so the whole world feels hazy, and I'm just wandering in that grayness. Huh? I hear something cutting through the air.
ただ庭の方からだけど今のは
I know that sound. Well, I don't feel like making breakfast, so I'll go take a walk and check it out. Yeah, what's making all that racket? It's colder than usual. Must be really cold for me to feel it, feverish as I am. And it looks like it might even snow.
蔵の方からだな
The sound of something slicing through the air reaches me at regular intervals. As I cross the yard, my breath mists the air. I mean, it can't be Saber that's in there. I find him in front of the shed. Oh, okay, it's Archer, isn't it? Given how unsurprised I am to find him, I guess I figured he'd be here. He must have been shooting his arrows. The moment Archer sees me, he lowers his bow in displeasure.
物騒だな人んちの庭で弓なんて引くな矢が当たったらどうするつもりだ
どうするつもりもない。もとより矢など使っていないのだ。いていないものが当たる道理はなかろう。
Huh. Well. Alright. I mean, it looks pretty transparent to me. He doesn't have to tell me that. So the sound was just his bow himself, or itself, excuse me. And for some reason, Archer was just plucking his bowstring, not firing arrows. Oh, okay, no, it's not transparent
いい弓だ
anymore.
な今まで納得いかなかったけどお前本当にアーチャーだったんだ
さて、私はお前が知っている弓使いとは違うからな。弓道など聞かれても答えられんぞ。
Yeah, even in the fight that we actually saw him in against Lancer, he wasn't using a bow and arrow like you'd expect him to. It was actually really the opposite.
お前たちの弓は己に当てる射であり、私のは敵に当てる矢だ。お前の言うアーチャーというのは礼節を重んじる者のことだろう。
His lips curls snidely, or his lip curls snidely, and I still can't stand this guy.
誰もお前に弓のことを聞こうだなんて思ってないよただ何をしているか気になっただけだ
見ての通り調子を測っているのだが、セイバーにつけられた傷も癒えた。いつまでも見張り役というわけにもいくまい。
I see. So his wounds have healed, and that means Tosaka will get back into the fight. I turn on my heel. If Tosaka and Archer are going to rejoin the battle, I need to make a decision too. I need to go somewhere I can think alone.
斬新という言葉があるな。
Can't say I have, buddy.
え
ことを済ませた後に保つ間のことだ。私の弓術とお前の弓道で唯一共通しているものがそれだと思うのだが。
なんだよお前なんかに八節を解かれる覚えはないぞ
まあ聞け。矢を放った後、体は自然と場に止まるという。それを斬新というそうだな。
Yeah, there are 8 movements in Kyoto called the Shaho Hasitsu, which are the 8 principles of shooting. The final step, Zanshin, is what follows after releasing your arrow.
ああそれがどうしたっていうんだ
心構えの話だ。斬新とは己の行為。放った矢が的中するかを確かめるものではない。矢とは放つ前にすでに的中しているものだ。射手は自らのイメージ通りに指を離す。
That's an interesting way to describe it.
ならば当たるか当たらぬかなど確認する必要はない。射の前に当たらぬと思えば当たらぬし、当たると思えば当たっているのだから。
そんなことあるかどんなに当たるって思っても当たらない射はある思うだけで当たるって言うんなら誰だって100発100中だ
そうかな。 少なくともお前は百発百中だろ。
He catches me off guard there. I mean, he's right, but
まあそんな話はどうでもいい。言いたいことは一つだけだ。斬新とは矢が当たるかどうかを見極めるものではない。放った矢がどのような結果になるかなど分かりきったことだからな。ならば斬新とはその結果を受け入れるための心構えではなかったか。
分かってる。要するに最後まで見届けろって言いたいんだろう、お前は。
そういうことだ。セイバーのことは聞いた。彼女がこのような状態になるのは初めから分かっていたことだろう。魔力の提供もなしで戦っていればいつかは消える。それはもう決まっていたことだ。な。
all that's left is to accept the result. He's telling me that no matter what I decide, no matter what it does to Saber, all I can do is see it through. I turn my back to Archer. This time, I'm going to be the one to leave Archer hanging.
あ、それともう一つ。気がついていないようだから教えておこう。
His voice comes from behind me.
セイバーはな、宝具を使えば自分が消えると分かっていたはずだ。彼女はおそらく最後まで宝具を使う気はなかったのだろう。
Yeah, that's the feeling I was getting. This time I hear nothing of his usual sarcasm.
にもかかわらず宝具を使った理由は一つ。セイバーは自身が消えることよりお前を守ることを選んだのだ。それを
For once, his voice is completely sincere. He's only telling the truth here. Okay. I mean, I had that feeling. Alright, where are we wandering off to? Hopefully not the park. Let's not go there. God fucking damn it. The park is empty as usual. Maybe because it's chillier than usual. There's hardly anyone out. It looks like I'm the only one walking around right now. I slumped down onto a bench. Well, I came here to be alone. Now that I'm here, I should think of what to do next. I can't put my decision off any longer. If I want to defeat the other masters and end this Holy Grail War, I need Saber. That's not what this is about, though. I just don't want to lose Saber. But that means I'd have to have Saber attack people like Ryder did. Iconic moment. I can't let her do that. Giving Saber that order is as good as telling her to die. Besides, I think she would just refuse outright. But when my head slumps down, I see my left hand. I have 2 command spells left. If I use one, I can force Saber to obey me, even if she refuses. We're not doing that. We're not gonna force her to go kill people. I bite my lip and shake the thought off. It's ridiculous. Time slips by me as I sit on the bench. I have no idea how long I remain sitting there, but just as my fingers start to tremble from the cold. Ah, fuck. I look up, hearing a voice calling to me.
やっぱりそうだ。こんにちは、シロ。浮かない顔してるけど、何かあったの？
イリア、お前また一人でこんなところまでやってきたのか。危ないぞ。どこにマスターの目が光ってるか。
Yeah, here we are with the overlap again. Like we've read this already before. Ilya's a master. I shouldn't be worried about her. We're enemies.
悪い。
Yeah, for real.
今はイリアと話をする
So
余裕
is
が
what's
ないん
gonna
だ。
happen in the bad ending? Is that gonna happen here?
話し相手になってやれない。
And what does that mean? Where will that bring us? I don't get up from the bench as I dismiss Ilya. There are plenty of things I'd like to talk to her about, but I can't think of anything other than Saber right now. What's going on? Ilya doesn't say anything. She's looking at me as if I'm a stranger.
イリア、いや別にお前を邪険にしてるんじゃないんだ。今はちょっとい
Yeah,
ろいろ
this
と
was
立
also
て込ん
said
でて。
last time.
知ってるわ。セイバー
Yep,
が
she
消えかけ
revealed
てるんでしょ。
that she was there in the building.
それで シローはどうしようかって考えてるのよね。
Just out of nowhere, Ilya's voice has gotten so cold and detached.
イリア。
そんなことで悩むなんてバカみたい。シローがそんなだから、ライダーのマスターにも逃げられたのよ。
Okay, well that line's a little
負けた
different.
やつなんて殺しちゃえばいいだけなのに。
I move my feet. Something tells me this isn't a time to be sitting, so I shift my way forward to get up. But my body doesn't move, as if I'm entranced by Ilya. Here we go.
お前、なんでそんなこと。
言うまでもないでしょ。昨日の夜ね、私もあのビルにいただけよ。もっとも、さすがにビルの中で様子を見てるしかなかったけど。
Oh man, I'm excited for whatever fuckery's about to come up here. You know, I got a little bit of a hint for whatever this shit is in the bad ending, so let's see what goes on. I try to make my hands and feet move, but nothing happens. No, it feels like the more I try to move, the stiffer they get. It's those eyes. Whenever I see Ilya's red eyes, my senses go dull.
あ、もう金縛りになったんだ。シロったら守りも何もないんだもの。一人でいれば簡単に捕まえられるって思ったけど、こんなに簡単に行くなんて可愛いな。
いや、
無駄だよお兄ちゃん。そうなったらもう動けないわ。もうじき声も出なくなるけど、心配しなくていいよ。
No, there's a lot to worry about.
私もね、今日はお話をしに来たわけじゃないもの。
I like talking. Let's go back to talking. Ilya's eyes blaze with murderous intent. This is Ilya as I saw her the other night, Berserker's master.
俺をここで殺すつもりか。
I grit my teeth and gather all my strength. Uh-oh. Losing reception again, but my fingers won't so much as budge. It's like Ilya's stare has frozen every nerve in my body.
だってもうマスターでいてもしょうがないでしょ。セイバーが消えたらシローは一人きりだもの。いつまでもマスターにさせてられないわ。戦う手段がなくなったシローなんて簡単に殺せるんだから。
Ilya raises her hand. Her slender white fingers reach for my chest. Oh, Jesus.
他の人に殺される前に見つけられてよかった。
Uh-huh.
それじゃあおやすみなさいお兄ちゃん。どうせセイバーも消えるんだから早い方がすっきりするでしょ。
And hello, sleepy time. My vision fades. My limbs have gone completely numb, and now I can't see either. How long have I been stuck in this darkness? Before I can figure out whether I'm alive or dead, I lose consciousness. I wonder if by choosing to hang out with Ilya, you know, eons ago, it feels like, that would lead us to this regardless? Maybe? My body is burning. Even if my consciousness has fallen into darkness, the burning in my body tells me I'm still alive. Yeah, that must mean I'm still alive. Even so, it may only be temporary. Ilya even said it.
戦う手段のないシローなんて簡単に殺せるんだから。
She's absolutely right. Without Saber, I can't fight a proper battle. A Holy Grail War is a battle between servants, and there's no way I can go up against servants. That's been proved more than enough by now. At least you finally get it. Each time I got absolutely thrashed. Like Saber said, all I can do against servants is try to survive for as long as possible. I can even do that. I was cut to pieces and even thrown out of a third-story window. That did happen, actually. That was actually a fun-ass fight, you know, coming to the school as it's, you know, getting sucked dry and all the kids and teachers, they were fucking dying and everything. Like, that was a cool-ass confrontation. It's only this weird, inexplicable thing going on with my body that's kept me alive. It's so frustrating. It makes me so angry. So angry. In the face of an unbeatable opponent, I couldn't stop the catastrophe in front of me on my own. Even though I decided to fight, I said I was going to fight as a master and vowed to not hurt anyone. but I couldn't even keep those promises. I'm pissed off. The champions of justice I strived to emulate when I was young always had to win, or there would be no point. My body is burning. Every inch of me trembles with the need to win, but I have neither the means to win or even a way to fight. What good am I? I can't even fight alongside Saber without bringing her down.
それも間違いだ。エミヤ四郎は格闘には向かない。お前の戦いは精神の戦い。
We have to be a cheerleader.
己との戦いであるべきだからだ。
Suddenly, I remember Archer saying that.
戦いになればエミヤ四郎に勝ち目などない。お前のスキルでは何をやってもサーバントには通じない。
I know that. I've certainly been reminded more than enough.
ならばせめてイメージしろ。現実でかなわない相手なら想像の中で勝て。自身が勝てないのなら勝てるものを幻想しろ。
I feel like the dynamic between Archer and Shirou, you know, Archer has been kind of pushing Shirou a little bit, and it's kind of, you know, coming to, you know, reality here, fruition, if you will. I do wonder, you know, how the two of them will continue to interact and what will go down, because that's a servant from somebody else, a different master, and Shirou himself is a master, a failed one at that, kind of, or at least a failed mage, if you will. You don't have to remind me. I can only win in my own head. But what can I imagine that would ever help me win? I can't imagine beating a servant. I don't have such a wild imagination as to fool myself. Any fantasy I come up with will be full of loose threads that'll come unraveled. My third-rate imagination hasn't got a prayer against these incredible servants. That's why... Who do I win against? And how do I win? I'm still searching for that answer. Am I really searching for it? That golden sword? It's meant only for her. I don't want it for myself. It's so beautiful. Just once I'd like to hold it in my hands if I can. Ugh. I guess this is just a bad habit I picked up as a untrained mage. Since all I can do is look within myself, I tend to dream about stuff I shouldn't. I should at least be allowed to dream. Well, dreams and imagination and all that, you know, they're about the same. First, I imagine the thing's basic structure, and then reproduce it. Huh. I guess there's not much point in strengthening here. If strengthening is the act of applying something to an existing object, there's not much point in doing that to something that doesn't even exist. That means I need to work harder if I'm going to remember that sword. This is well before the basics. This is from before Kiritsugu taught me strengthening, a magecraft process that I thought up on my own and packed with trivial steps. Let's see, how did I do it? How did I give it form? Uh-oh. Here we go. When I come to, I have no idea where I am. There's actually color this time, though. And we can speak. And this place isn't just unfamiliar. There's a luxurious canopy bed, and the plush carpet is ankle deep. There's even a stone fireplace, and it's clearly not just a decoration. No, it's going. What I initially take for wallpaper, I realize on inspection, is actually patterns engraved on the wall. I've gotten used to fancy decorations like the ones in Shinji's mansion, but this is something else entirely. It's a little embarrassing to say this out loud, but this place is like a castle from a fairy tale. My vision blurs. My body feels strangely heavy. Maybe I'm having circulation problems or something. I feel like I might fall back asleep if I relax even a little. Good question. I tried to get my clouded mind working. Oh right, Ilya paralyzed me and I just passed out. Yeah, somehow. There's nobody in the room. My body feels heavy, but not so bad that I can't even lift a finger like before. If I really work at it, I might be able to lift an arm.
縛られてるぞ、俺。
God damn, they thought of everything. My drowsy mind suddenly jolts to full alertness. I realize I'm in danger, and so study my surroundings carefully.
椅子に座らされて、手を後ろに回されてるのか。
God damn, rope?
手錠。
What is
じゃないよ
this?
な。縄で手首を縛ってるだけか。
It's not as bad as I imagined, but I still can't move. My whole body is weirdly tingly, and I can't get up with my arms tied behind me.
あれからどれぐらい経ってるんだ。時計はないか、やっぱり。
And there's nothing in here to tell me what time it is. Yeah, I'm not seeing a clock either. A window. Oh, there's a window behind me. I try to turn and get a look, but the curtains are closed, so I can't see outside. All I can say for sure is that the sun's set. I ran into Ilya in the morning, so it's been at least half a day. God damn it, Shirou. You're always getting into something. I don't have time for this. I have no idea where I am, but I need to get back to Saber as fast as I can. Saber's in a weakened state. I can't be even more of a burden to her by letting something like this happen. And yet you went outside when she told you don't do that, let's not be separated from one another. I try to make my arms move. If I'm going to escape, I have to do something about these ropes behind or around my wrists. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. The door opens. I go still just as Ilya enters the room.
あ、やっと起きたんだ。おはよう、お兄ちゃん。体は大丈夫？
Ilya's not acting at all like she had earlier. The coldness in her eyes is gone, and she's back to acting like the cheerful girl that she had been at the park the other day.
どうしたの？なんか元気ないけど、まだ体は動かない？
Ilya peers into my face looking puzzled. She seems genuinely concerned for me.
大丈夫だ。声は出るし、頭の方も自分が捕まってるってわかる程度にははっきりしてる。
何よ、不満なの？捕まえた敵はね、本当は地下牢に入れておくものなんだよ。
And yet here we are in a bedroom.
けど、それじゃシローがかわいそうだから、特別に私の部屋に連れてきてあげたのに。
I don't know if that's good or bad, but at least I understand what's going on a little better.
なんとなく状況は分かった。俺は捕まって、ここはイリアの住処ってわけか。
I speak flatly, trying to kill my emotions. Until I understand completely what's happening here, I just need to listen.
そうだよ。前に言ったでしょ。私は森の後ろに住んでるんだって。
Well, I appreciate you reminding us, because I kind of forgot that.
ここは樹海の中の城で、周りには何もないわ。シローが住んでる町まで車で何時間も
A
かかるんだ
few
もの。
hours?
助けになんて来るはずもないし、絶対に邪魔も入らない。
Jesus Christ, alright.
そうか。それは分かったけど、なんだってそんなことをしたんだ。俺を殺すんなら、あの公園でできたじゃないか。
なんで？私、シローを殺す気なんてないよ。シローは私のだもん。
Okay.
他のマスターは殺すけど、シローは特別。
Why are we special?
だから誰も邪魔が入らないようにシローをここに閉じ込めたの。
Okay. I find myself recoiling. Ilya pushes her face closer to me, ignoring my agitation.
イリア、ちょっと。
I know it's inappropriate, but the way Ilya sits on my lap has my heart racing. She may not be heavy, but the way she's sitting on my lap has me thinking. Kinda graphic thoughts. Yeah, right now is not the time. Again, you were kidnapped. And this child is crazy. I mean, look, she used her, crazy and scary red eyes to fucking, paralyze you. That's not normal, buddy. That is not normal whatsoever.
私のサーバントになってみない？シローが私のサーバントになってくれるなら、もう殺さなくて済むわ。シローがうんって言ってくれれば、それでシローだけは助けてあげるよ。
Ilya's words are so pure and heartfelt. I know that if I nod even once, it'll be a choice I can't unmake, and I will absolutely come to regret it. On the other hand, if I refuse, that purity will turn into pure wickedness. With Ilya leaning so close, my mind grinds to a shrieking halt. She's not saying this just because she likes me. This is more like an interrogation, a matter of whether I want to live or die.
考えるまでもないでしょ。シローにはもうセイバーはいないんだもの。戦う手段なんてないわ。ならマスターでいてもしょうがないじゃない。
違う。セイバーはまだ消えていない。そんなことさせるもんか。
けどそんな状態じゃ簡単に殺されちゃうよ。
Yeah, obviously.
いいからシローはここにいればいいの。シローがずっとそばにいてくれるなら、私もずっとシローを守ってあげる。
But why, you know? What makes Shirou so special? Why him? Why are you giving him so many opportunities? That bad ending that we saw was such a hint. There's some sort of connection that she has to Shirou from 10 years ago. Ilya presses close against me. I'm not sure what'll happen if I refuse, but I still can't agree.
ダメだ。離れるんだ、イリア。どんなに言われても、俺は。
Ilya presses her index finger to my lips. She giggles in amusement and watches me in my bewilderment.
もう分かってないんだから。いい？今のシローはカゴの中の小鳥なのよ。生かすも殺すも私の自由なんだから、あんまり私を怒らせるようなことは言っちゃダメ。10年も待ったんだもの。
Yeah, 10 years.
ここでシローを簡単に殺しちゃうなんて。
Ilya talks like she's asking for a toy. The sheer cold-heartedness in her voice sends a shiver down my spine. Honestly, 10 years is so, like, arbitrary. She could just be talking about 10 years for herself, not 10 years ago to whenever, you know, things went down with Shirou.
これで最後だよ、お兄ちゃん。もう一度だけ聞いてあげる。
Ilya's eyes shine with hope.
シロー、私のものになりなさい。
Okay. She said that with conviction. Ilya's tone is bewitching and brooks no refusal. Oh my god, I'm saving this for fucking future, Michael. Yeah, fuck me, right? Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Fuck, I don't know how you would want to go about this, honestly. Because if we agree to it, I mean, it's the way he has it. I'll have to agree for now. Okay, that solidifies a sense of survival right now. We'll be able to just get on with life. We'll you know, push on and figure things out as we go. But if we say that we can't, we absolutely fucking refuse, then it's just instant death, no? Like, there's no way out of this. I can't think of anybody coming to our rescue, somebody crashing in through the window. We're hours away from, like, everyone. So, no. I think it's gonna have to be the top choice, but I'm gonna think about it for sure. Thank you all for tuning into this episode. I do hope you all enjoyed. This is a fun one. I'm actually really excited that we're coming back to this because there's something about Ilya's character. It's always the fucking crazy ones that get me the most interested. And probably scared, honestly. Like, there might be a little bit of fear within me, but no, I'm excited to see where this is gonna go. What a shift. But yeah, thank you all for coming out. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, subscribe for more, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take it easy.